Welcome back. You tuned into Inspired Afternoons, and sure, I really feel inspired after that segment. And speaking to Salailo and Dudu here on the last segment, I think there is hope and things bode well in terms of partnership between males and females in the going forward in the 21st century, and some of them even being content to be the stay-at-home parent as well. And now it's our well we merging two segments. So it's we're going to be talking gardening and expert advice with Tanya Meyer Saluji, who is an expert when it comes to compost and getting our soil ready and our gardens ready, our lawns ready in anticipation of spring and summer. But but Tanya has started due to COVID. Many people had to adapt, uh, reinvent themselves, and in Tanya's case, turned her passion now into a way where she earns a living. And hence, we've introduced now. This is the first time. It's in partnership with Salam Media, Salam Foundation, as well as Nazir Mohammed from Liberty. He's a financial advisor, one of the top, should I mention, top uh, uh, financial advisors at Liberty Life, and he's sponsoring the segment as well called Business Accelerator. So basically, Business Accelerator does is we creating a platform and opportunity for people who have actually turned their passion in their businesses, especially during COVID, where something that was your hobby, you've now been retrenched due to the COVID pandemic, and you've had a hobby and you thought, I have enough research behind me and I'm passionate enough to actually take that step and turn my passion into my business and also then earn an income from there. So Business Accelerator is a platform to provide a platform for startup businesses, people who've turned it's a labor of love, so turn their passion into a business. And we know when you're starting off your business, there's just not enough funding for marketing, advertising your business. So hence, together with Nazir Mohammed from Liberty, Salam Media, and Salam Foundation, we have decided to give back to the community in terms of providing a platform for such entrepreneurs as well. And today I've got Tanya Meyer Saluji. Assalamu alaikum and welcome, Tanya, to Salam
Walaikum
Media.
salam. Jazakallah for having me.
It's a pleasure. So, Tanya, before I get to the compass and also you giving us expert advice in terms of how to prepare our
Is
lawn to
it
have that luscious lawn in spring, and in there's nothing better than
even in
walking
winter?
barefoot on that soft grass.
Keeps you grounded.
That's oh, it does, and I
Keeps
don't
you
know, you just
grounded.
you extract so much, especially when it's just been mowed, and it
And the
I
smell of
don't
the
know, I
fresh
can't even
lawn,
express. Ooh, and it just goes in the tingle and that
especially
happiness
after
that
rain also.
yes. So before I get there, you know what? We in my prior segment we were discussing gender roles in the 21st century, and you know what? If there was anybody who was actually in a male orientated career and had to work your way through and also change stigma, it's somebody like yourself because Tanya was
Yeah.
actually yeah, prior to lockdown, and this Tanya was actually a service advisor. Yes, a service
Yes,
advisor at one of
was.
the major dealerships. So basically, one of at a Mercedes-Benz franchise dealership, Nohal. So like this is high end, and yeah, she being a service advisor, and I can imagine somebody coming with the S class here and booking their appointment, and then in the morning they drop their cars and they think Tanya might be probably the PA or the receptionist, and they give the keys and they're waiting, and Tanya says, I'm the service advisor, and they say, no, I need to speak to the service
To a
advisor, and she
man.
says, no, sir, I am the service advisor.
It
And
happened
then I
quite
think they get
often,
confused.
very often. It happened quite often, but it's okay. And the surprising part is that when over the years I built some knowledge. I'm not saying I know everything, but I built quite a bit of knowledge, and knowing that little bit of the engine compartment and so forth, it surprises them sometimes. And I always say, if I don't know anything, I'm going to ask someone to help me, and that also surprised men especially. And yes, gender roles, very much people do prefer men in this specific role and industry. But it's okay. You learn to deal with it. And funny enough, I just said to my husband before this whole thing, I said to him, Ask me about a car, I'm going to be 100% fine because I'm used to it. This is something new, but I grew up with it, so I'm used to it. But I think, yeah, in your back of your mind, you're still a little bit sometimes wonky about what could be and what could not be. So yeah, definitely a general thing, but it's okay. Females need to be up there as well.
Yes, because I don't know many female service advisors. Look, by default, I also have to learn a lot about the motor industry.
Yes,
Same like you about components, engine mountings, injectors, uh,
rubbers
you
and
name it, and
seals.
everything, caliper, pistons in it. So it's part. Like I say, I had to learn by default because my better half is also in the motor industry
Motor industry.
as well. And yes, and we do service and repair. So I had to learn a lot, and I am a mentor for the apprenticeship program that we'll run as well.
Okay.
So I had to get into it. But like you say, it's a predominantly male dominated, and
Male.
that's why I salute you that you actually stepped into that road for a while. And also coming back to compost, all the compost wholesalers and sellers I know are male. So also in this business here, you're bucking the trend in terms of this
I
because
have to.
you took what you know. And I mean, like you say, it was a family business and you have your brother and dad there, but you grew up as well.
100%.
And now as you've said, I mean, through COVID, many companies are downsizing and
Yes,
retrenching and just keeping core staff. And you found yourself in a position that you
100%.
no longer had in employment. And then you took this opportunity to say, hey, you know what? I know lots about compost. I grew up we're doing everything from source to delivery of compost, and this is something I'm passionate
100%.
about, something I know, and let me take my passion and turn it into business and become an entrepreneur. So tell us about compost. Now we're focusing on lawn and compost and that. So first, you know what? I don't know. Compost maybe a rounded
It's
term
a
for maybe
general term. Yes.
like for lawn dressing, for topsoil, for cow manure. So just tell us the different types of compost and what do we use for our lawn? Do you use the same thing for your lawn, for your flower beds, to prepare your soil? So let's just start from the beginning.
So it's all, and this is something that I noticed today when delivering some of the stock to people, and also when people phone in or SMS and say, I want compost. It's a general term. You're 100% correct. And actually, it should be cancelled and more specific towards what your requirements are. You can order compost and say, yeah, I need 6 bags for my lawn, but it's not going to do the job like top lawn wood or mupu wood. And then we say cow manure. It's just what we call it at Just Nature. We call it mupu. I took some samples that I've got here with me that I can show the people as well. So basically, top lawn, you use that for your grass. It's mainly to level out the grass and as well feed the grass. All of our products are completely organic. Nothing's got any chemicals in it. So we're trying to be environmentally friendly as well when making the product. And how can I say, giving back to the earth what it's giving back to us daily. I mean, oxygen and beautiful lawns and flowers and all of that. So top lawn is your main one for your lawn. Also on coquia and alum, there's lots of different grass as well, but going into that is very a little bit beyond my knowledge. But the main grasses are coquia and alum. Alum doesn't really need top lawn. It more needs your cow manure, which is your mupu, and only sprinkled. It doesn't require to be raked through. You can do it, but it's not advisable because it's quite a sensitive grass. It only grows in shade. It doesn't grow in sun. So you can kill it by putting too much. Let's talk in the general term compost on it. It can burn the grass because of the heat and the sun outside, and also if it doesn't get watered regularly, it will damage the grass, and you'll have more damage than nice grass, which is not advisable. Compost, you get different types of compost. Your main compost is just a very rough mixture of garden materials, like leaves and sticks, mixed with a little bit of kraal manure, and sift through a very fine sift to give you a nice consistency that's still rough enough to put in your gardens. And also you need to remember you need to have the water needs to run through. You can't have a stiff, how can I say, tarry type of a ground. You can't use that. So that's compost. But then you get different types of compost for the lawn. You get an enriched garden soil, which give you a little bit more feeding and a lot more variety of the type of ground. So it also, again, helps with the different needs of the customer, if you can explain it like that. So it depends on what you want to do. Compost is a general user. You can use it on the lawn, however, not advisable. It's a little bit more rough than the top lawn, and that you'll have big pieces lying around, and it will not help the grass. So then if you do use that, you just put it into the grass, into your beddings, and you again have something else to feed your beddings.
So Tanya, so top lawn I'm going to put on my lawn, right? But now the difference between, okay, cow manure, I see you use a very nice term, mupu, because it sounds
Mupu.
nicer. Like you, I
Yes.
love it. I love your cow manure. You've repackaged it like mupu because it just sounds oh so cute, like
It just sounds
mupu
a
and
little
things
bit
like that.
cuter.
Yeah. It takes away
So,
that heaviness and even the stench. So now tell me something. Oh, is this mupu?
so I've got a few, yes, I've got a few bags here. I've only got the three major ones, which is the mupu, the top lawn, and the compost. So I'm going to quickly just show you. This is if the people can see, this is the mupu. It's very
Yes, we can.
fine. And,
So
and, and
what's
it
this one?
doesn't
Mupu.
smell. Yes, this
Yes,
is the
that's what I
mupu.
need to know. I
This
think
is
I'm adverse to putting manure fertilizer on the lawn because then for about 4 weeks you just get that smell like you're in a farm and you can't open the windows and it's
no, no,
unpleasant
no,
and
no.
then shoes come with it. So
So
and I see
no.
yours is very very fine compared to the others I've seen.
100%. So you can see it's very, very fine. And I'm literally, to be quite honest with you, I'm sitting here in the house by the kitchen table,
And there's
and
no
I've put it
smell.
on a plate. There's absolutely no smell.
And you're touching it also
You
with your hands.
Yes.
So
I don't even. I think I'm also used to the smell, but it's not the smell that you're talking about.
it's
I'm
not, is it
100%
pungent?
aware.
Is it not
No.
pungent?
I promise you, you cannot smell it. You only smell freshness of the ground. You're not smelling manure, like, when you're on a farm, you're not smelling that at all. So it's very, very well manufactured in a way that you don't have the stench.
So what I need to ask you is, which
Yeah.
is better for my lawn? If I want to
So,
put on a lawn, do I put a combination of top lawn and your mupu?
so do you have a lot of holes in the lawn, if I can ask it like that? Like, is it uneven? If it's uneven, then you would need to do top lawn. If it's nice and even, it's just a little bit of brown, I would suggest just put a little bit of mupu. It's going to enrich your soil much quicker and give your grass a much nicer green look than what it should. Also, the key to everything is always water for the first 3 to 4 days. Do
That I was
not
just going to
water.
ask you. So when I put, okay, so we buy these bags. How do you take a rake and do you smoothen it out? And what's the size area for one bag? What's the size area? So you know what, we want to have optimal coverage. We don't want to overcover, but also it doesn't be so sparse that's going to do nothing for your lawn. So how do you actually spread the compost?
So basically, the advice to spread the lawn is so basically you throw your bag out in a little heap, and from there on you take the back of your rake and you rake it through the grass. If the grass is very short, you just basically make sure that most of the tips and a little bit more of the tips stick out. Do not cover the grass. The sun and the heat will kill it and it will burn it. So your grass will actually get damaged more than what it will be anything good. So I want to show you quickly the top lawn. So there's my top lawn bag. Oh, sorry, it's a little bit skewed. There's the top lawn bag. And again, it's a very fine product, but if you can see, this one is a little bit more red. So this
Yes,
one
it
has
is,
got
yeah.
normal sand in it, and this will cover the holes that there is in your grass. So if there's any holes or unevenness, this will help to cover the unevenness. This is the compost. This is the compost bag, and this one is a little bit more rough, if you can see. This one has got a lot of more sticks and a little bit of mulch type of looking thing in it, and this is more for your bedding. So most of your bedding things, like your enriched garden soil, will look like this one. So for a nice green lush lawn, I would suggest the mupu, the kraal manure, or you can put top lawn. It's either or. If you don't have any holes or things like that, I would say go for the kraal manure. And always water. At least keep it moist for the whole day, 3 to 4 days mainly.
So only 3 to 4 days, because now with the water restrictions and your water bill like this, that is why I'm asking you, you know what, you have to take cognizant of the fact that, you know what, water
So
restrictions as well as a cost. So tell me
100%.
3 to 4 days thereafter. So tell me when should be, because, you know, I've noticed I've been fertilizing the lawn and getting it ready in preparation for spring and that. But before the rains used to come around about second week September, but I've noticed now, I don't know if you attribute it to climate change, could be or not, but I notice rains are now coming in October. So second,
Yes.
third week of October. So do we also now spread out our fertilizer and treat it maybe mid September as opposed to first week September?
So
Do we also?
basically, I would suggest look at the weather. So follow the weather, what they say. If they're saying that there is still going to be a cold front coming, wait until after that cold front. Your grass will get damaged with that cold front again. Don't waste your time and money buying compost, water, and everything, going through that process, and then there's a cold front coming and kills your grass again. So advisable, beginning of September, you can start now. Midst there isn't a forecast of a cold front coming. Yes, water restrictions, it is a bit of a problem. And I was discussing that, earlier today with someone. It's an unfortunate situation with water restrictions, but if you want a nice green lawn, unfortunately, water is going to have to be used. Just use it sparingly. Start small patches, perhaps on your grass, then big patches. Then doing the entire lawn, just do maybe half of it 1 week and the other half next week. I know you're still using the same amount of water, but at least you're not using it all at once and you're not using so much water at one point.
Yes, because you
Unfortunately, to
get
get it
charged per kilo. Yeah. So
per, yes.
you spend, yes,
So
because now it changes in terms of your scale like this. So the other thing
100%.
now, when you're applying the compost into your flower beds, do you need to mix it in with the existing soil or it stays in the top?
So there you got a choice. You can just throw it out a little bit on the top, or you can mix it into the soil. Advisable, mix it into the soil. Don't go too deep. It's not going to do anything different. It's going to be better if it's from the top going downwards because you still need to water it. So all the nutrients are soaking through from the top to the bottom of the roots. You don't want everything going directly to the roots. It will burn and it will damage the roots. So advisable, mix it through a little bit. You can just gently sprinkle it on top, but mostly mix it through nicely, and then you'll know you get a good end product.
Okay. One final question before I let
No
you
problem.
go. What I need to ask you is different. You mentioned the compost is organic. What is the difference between organic compost and non-organic compost? And only if it states organic, then it's organic, or compost is organic by nature?
Well, it depends on what people use. So we only use organic materials, so normal, like I said, garden debris and things like that, leaves and twigs and things like that. We also use crow manure, and we don't do from feeding lots. So our crow manure doesn't come from feeding lots. It's purely free roaming animals manure that we're using. Yes, we can say 100% we use organic. Other companies, you can't obviously guarantee that because you don't know what goes in there and you don't know how honest they are. Fertilizer, that's more of a chemical. You don't need chemicals specifically if you want to have a green lawn. It depends what you want to do. So certain plants like azaleas, they need a little bit more acidity than what grass or normal flowers would need. So then that's when you reach out to your chemicals. But normal fertilizer, the chemical ones, not always necessary. It's more the organics one. The chemical ones got phosphate in, and the other two I can't remember. We don't specialize in that one, but um, that's more for specific needs. Farmers use that specifically to get their crops growing, and as well people with seedlings to get things growing faster. You're just going to have faster growth. It does do a little bit more damage to the ground. It weakens the ground and the health of the ground. So rather feed your ground and your soil with compost and natural things that it needs. It doesn't need chemicals all the time, only when you do something specific, like I said, a farmer or a specific flower. It depends on what your goal is in the end.
Okay, so I think, you know what, for now to prepare it, my goal is a luscious green lawn. so I can spend, especially if the restrictions are going to continue, then my home is going to be my oasis. So I'm looking
You
forward to a
have to make
lovely
it
spring
beautiful.
summer garden. I have to make it beautiful, and I know. And when we spoke, I told you that at Salam Foundation and Salam Media, we embarked on the farm in the garden about 2 months ago, and we're doing well, different types. We've got a greenhouse, and I think 2 months ago we planted farm in the city. Sorry, farm in the city. I've corrected here, and I just want to show everybody. Let me just get this closer, Shazia. Right, there we go. So this is our first harvest from seeds we planted, and this is our radishes.
Oh,
Were they were just picked up now. Shazia brought them for me. So this is our
lovely.
first crop, and look how lovely. And this is all organic. This is
Organic.
100%
You see, it
organic.
helps.
100, and I mean, you can see how they look so beautiful. I can't wait to rinse them and just munch them and eat them raw, wholesome. But this is the well,
I
not
can't wait
mine,
to
but
get
I think more.
part of it.
Yes, Azhar, yeah. This is Azhar and the team and everybody down there, Brother Ali and everybody, and Brother Ibrahim. And this is the fruits. You know, they say what you sow,
What
you
you
reap.
sow will you
And
will
this
reap.
is the fruits. Yes, and this is the fruits or veggies of the efforts and labor of love here and the passion as well. So this is live on air. First time I'm showing you on Inspired Afternoons. Yes, we hosted them and we went through the greenhouse when there were seedlings, and I think tiny leaves were coming out. And this is what we have, our first lot of radishes.
Beautiful.
So yes,
Mashallah.
our store will be open soon, our organic store. And most importantly, this is going to be part of our sustainable projects, because all proceeds from these will go for us to utilize in our feeding products, as well as excess cabbage and spinach and what we planted would actually go to feeding schemes and soup kitchens for them to utilize. So a very exciting project,
Mashallah. Amen.
farm in the city, and maybe one day you can pop by and just tell us
I'm
the
definitely going
condition
to.
of our soil, because we want natural optimal growth. So
Natural.
thanks so much, Tan. Yes,
I just
natural.
want to show you guys something quickly. So this is lawn in the middle of winter, and this looks from January to December unless no one takes care of it. So this is how green the lawn are, if you guys can see.
Oh, wow.
100%,
Yes, mashallah. Beautiful.
100%, 100% covered with mupu or top lawn, just depending on what time of the year it is. Winter, we do use a little bit more top mupu on this one than top lawn. So I just wanted to show you guys, it does work. It's not a gimmick or anything like that. It's proper stuff.
So we need to, yeah, because some people feel that, rain and water is fine and there's no need to fertilize your lawn, no need to put compost on your lawn, dress your
Yes.
lawn, but it requires nutrients at least once a year to
Yeah, at
dress your
least once
lawn.
a year,
Required
just to give it a little bit of food, just a little bit of love.
the love, the extra, like the
Extra.
multivitamin. So basically, that is
Of
multivitamins.
course, this is multivitamins that we all need.
We all need. Tanya Meyer Saluji, thanks so much for joining us
Jazakallah.
and inspiring us as well in terms of and educating us on our soil. And I think everybody's going to get ready this year and just try and give their gallons a bit of TLC and a little boost of multivitamins. So and go well, and we
Thank you
wish
for
you
having
every
me.
success, because this is
Thank
our
you very
business
much.
accelerator segment as well, brought to you in conjunction with Salam Media, Salam Foundation, and Nazir Mohammed from Liberty Life. So thanks so much and wish you well. We
Jazakallah
hope
for having me.
your passion reaps desired results. So it continues to be your passion, but also a way of you earning
Of living.
wholesome living, a sustainable living. And if anybody wants to contribute to our farm in the city, the banking details are there. Shazia has just put them up, and you want to be part, because remember, your contribution will actually be part of this is the reward you're going to reap the
To reap.
benefits of this. Yes. So please do contribute and be part. Let this be your sadka jariyah that keeps on giving. From me, Assalamu
Inshallah.
alaikum wa
Ameen.
rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Until next week, Monday, stay safe and may you always be protected under the mercy and protection of the Almighty. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.